Welcome to another series of Behind the Tool. This series is to show you how to actually use specific tools to help out my new tech VAs. I know I learn the best when I can see how to do it directly, so that's what this series is all about. And today I'm going to show you how to set up GoHighLevel as a CRM. If this is your first time on this channel, my name is Roxanne and I'm the founder of Marketing Tech Mama. My mission with this YouTube channel is to help 100 moms be able to work from home by being a tech VA in digital marketing. I've been in this digital marketing field for almost a decade, really since, yes, 2013. But you get to learn the secrets and the shortcuts a lot faster than I did. So, Go High Level is definitely taking the online space by storm. I've worked with many all in one tools, and right now, GHL is definitely one of my favorites because it can really do a lot of great things. There are funnel pages, there are CRMs, automation capabilities, ad attribution, and reports are just a few of the things that I really love about this software. And they're constantly updating it. Like there's literally a new update every week. So today we're going to focus on the CRM area of this tool, but we'll get into the other components in future videos. So I created a video that will show you the principles of setting up CRMs that will apply to any software, right? Because each tool has their own ways of how it looks like, how it works, but these principles will never change. And if you haven't seen the video, you can definitely check it out here. But let me go over the principles that I discussed in that videos, and then we're going to dive in to go high level so you can actually see how it looks like. So the principles, the first one is to be able to send emails. Okay, like know how to do that. Forms, how do you get to the forms and the CRMs? How do you know where the tags are at? How do you know where the sequences are? How do you know the automations are and the reports? And for sequences and automations, it really depends on what tool you're using. Some of them will combine them, some of them will be separate. So it just depends on the tool. But all right, we're going to dive in and let me show you these components for each of these inside of Go High Level. Okay, so this is the back end of Go High Level, right? This is like a brand new account. I don't have a lot of things on here, okay? But we're going to do this so I can show you how to find everything, okay? So the first one that I said is to send emails. So when you're trying to send an email, let me actually scoot over because I can't really see from here. You're going to go to marketing and then you go to emails and you go to campaigns, okay? And you're going to see this. This is just a test that I was just trying to use to send to myself, but these are the actions. So you'll come over here and you like create a campaign. Okay, we're going to just do a test one. Okay. So this is, I'm just going to put go high level setup. Setup. If you have a template, you can add it, but for now, I'm just going to do it from scratch. It's going to be very simple. Okay, I'm going to use design editor, not code editor. If you know HTML, then you can use that, but this is like the visual drag and drop, which is the most common way of using it. Okay, so right here's the text, start from scratch. As you can see here, there's a lot of different elements. Most of these are pretty straightforward. I also like too that you can add this here and it'll give you a layout that you want to use, which is really cool, right? And then you just drop the content here because a lot of times I've had to like kind of custom work this and finagle this. So it's nice that, hey, if I want to change my mind, I just come over here and I just pick one, right? And it'll just change all the content for me, which I really, really like a lot. Okay, so now when I'm done, right, again, you put the elements on here. They also have the appearance here. So if you have a template, you can do that. You have the buttons here. If you want to use a divider here, right? Custom CSS and also mobile formatting, which is pretty cool because sometimes you may want it to look different on mobile than you will on the desktop. Okay, so I mean, you can save it here and come back, right? This part is pretty straightforward. Or you can send or schedule, right? Send now, batch schedule, or if you want to do large groups into drip mode or schedule or RSS schedule, it's really cool. And then from here, you get to put from, right? You get to put the from email address, the from name, right? You put your subject line here in the optional preview test. And then you also have your recipients, right? If you actually have, you can create a smart list if you want to continue, if you know this is the same list that I want to use, or you can choose it from tags as well. Okay. So I am just going to save this because I am not actually going to use this. I don't really have like the context. contacts. This is like completely brand new for me to send it for. So this is just an example for these purposes in this video. All right, so that's the first thing. So that was emails. Now for forms, you're going to go to, I think it's sites actually. Yes, you're going to go to sites. And then on top here, you see forms. It has builder, analyze, and submission. So if you want to see like the stats for it, if you want to see the actual submissions from your forms, and then builder is, this is a builder. So I'm going to show you this right here. This is a form that I created. It's nothing really, I would say like very special. It's just a simple form that I just wanted to create because I wanted people to, I was moving CRMs and I moved to GoHighLevel, and I wanted to make sure, hey, if you want to stay in touch with me, you needed to opt in, right? And this is the form that I created. So you can do, as you can see here, an image. I put my logo. I just wanted first name and email. Okay. And then I did a button. You can have phone, email, organization, address, right? Whatever these fields are, this will be entered into your CRM that you've used, right? Country, postal code, HTML, if you want to do text, like I just want to say something, image, you can add a captcha and a button as well. Okay, you can also create custom fields. I don't have any custom fields, but if you need, if there's something that's on here and the information that you need, you can create the custom fields from there. Also, the styles, it's like, how do I want to style, right? How do I want the background and the font color and the border, right? Those are all of that stuff as well. And then also in the options, it's like, okay, what do I want the form name? I wanted the form name to just be this. And then you can either do a message or open a URL. For this one, I did a message. And I really like this too. You can enter your uh, Facebook Pixel ID if you want to kind of trigger some events, right? I just did page view because that's all I really want and all that I cared about for this form. So then when you're done, obviously you should hit save form, but since this is, I haven't made any changes to it, that's why it's there. So we're going to hit integrate form, and then I can take this and embed it somewhere, or I can just have the URL link, which we'll see right here, right? And this is it right here. And people can enter it, their information, and we're good from there. So that's it for the forms. Now we're actually going to go to tags. Okay, so now in order to find the tags, you will go to contacts and you'll select a contact. This is my test one right here. And then when you come up here, right, it has the little tag and it says add a tag. So here, if you have tags already created, it will pop up, but I don't have any. So I'm just going to put test, right, and hit add. Okay, so that's there. And then I can also have a description for the action. So I'm just going to put testing purposes only. And then I'm just going to hit add. So now when we go to my actual contact, right, and we want to look at the information that we have on here, we're going to go under here in tags and we can see, right, I have test added. So that's why it's important to know that. So now for the next step that we're going to talk about is really sequences and automations, which is really the same thing when it comes to GoHighLevel. So you're going to go to automations and then here are workflows, right? And workflows is going to allow you to do an automation, and we're just going to go ahead and hit create workflow, and we're just going to try to do one that's like a simple one that they already have here because I think that's going to be a good one to do. So here we'll do a webinar registration, right? If somebody opts into your list and they're joining for a webinar. Okay, so I'm clicking, highlighting that, and then I'm going to hit create new workflow, and it's just going to import that for me. Okay, so this is why I said it's good to have a form because they're saying, hey, when this form is submitted, you have to select the form, right? I'm just going to use the Marketing Tech Mama as an example. When this form is submitted, then it's going to add the registration. It's going to set the webinar event date and time. It's going to send them the confirmation email. Wait until 24 hours before, right? This is kind of their recipe, but you can always start from scratch and build a new one. So that's not a problem at all. And I'm going to actually delete this one because I don't need that trigger. For me, just a registration form submitted is perfect. Okay, then you would obviously come here and you will set this up, right? You need to create a tag to set up. If you don't have one, you can create a new one at that time. Yes, right here too, is the set the webinar date and time. That's the action name so that they know, okay, I need to send confirmation emails out, and you can come over here, right? And you got to fill in your information, right? You're registered. You can also select a template if you've already built a template. Then from here, it's like, right, register. You can always change this information as well. Okay, so there's that, and you can always send a test. Okay, so we're going to save the action. Okay, and then you're just going to do the same. It's like 24 reminder email. It's going to send this. Wait until 24 hours before, right, to do this. Like, this is where you set up everything. Then in the settings here, it's like, well, is there a specific time that you want to send these emails out? If there are, I would definitely put that in here. If you're like at any time, then as soon as they opt in, it's going to trigger from there. Okay. Then it's again, contact management. Do you want just one contact to come more than once, or do you want it to just be a one time thing, right? If you want it to do multiple times, turn it on. If you're fine with just one, then go ahead. Also, too, you can also stop on response. So if a contact comes in, they respond to a message and it's like, hey, we can stop. We don't need to send them anything, right? So depending on what you're trying to achieve with your automation, that's where this is a pretty cool the pretty cool tool feature that they have here. Conversation management as well. So automated messages, they don't mark them as read. So if I'm like, well, I want to auto mark them as read, you can here. And the event start date, you can put that here because that's when it's going to use, right, to set up the whole automations and the dates from that. So this is the history. If you had if this was on, it would have the history, right? You'll be able to see this is the action that everyone takes. This is where they on. You can also like change this based off of certain statuses and all of that wonderful stuff. So right now the status is in draft because this is not a real one. So there's that one. Okay, so that's how it works here when it comes to Go High Level for the sequences and automations. It's technically one thing. And one thing I really like about Go High Level too is I can put this in a folder, right? If I do want to put webinars, then I want to put this in that webinar folder. Great. If I want to do like lead magnet, right? It'll have a lead magnet folder. It's just a lot easier. Let me see actually if I'm going to try to move it because I think that's a great idea. That's what I would like to do, right? It's like a lot easier to have the folder and just move it to the folder. Uh, Boom. Now it's in the webinar one. So anytime I want to come in here, all my webinar automations will be set in here. And a lot of times why I separated sequences and automations is just because a lot of people think that automations are just to automatically send an email, but there are way more things that you can do besides that. So don't just look at automations as just sending an email or sending a text, even though that is the most common way it is used. Try to think outside of the box. There may be a lots of other solutions. Like there may be something that your client may want to automate to be right versus just sending an email. And if you're familiar with the capabilities of the tools, you can be like, well, hey, how about if we do A, B, and C with this tool and it will achieve the same result? Okay, so I just want you to keep that in mind. So now the next thing we're going to talk about are reports. And, in reports, so we'll actually do it with the workflow. When you have automations and stuff like this, you're going to come over here. Oh, actually over here in the action. So like, let's say you want to see the confirmation email and you want to know what's the stats for that. It's going to show you right here, right? You have to go to the email. And once you go to the email, it will then show you the details, how many people delivered, opened, clicked, replied, bounced, right? It'll give you all the stats for this particular automation. If you want to go ahead and have the stats for the email. So it says reporting here, but this is sample data, and this is mostly for like ads reporting. And this is how it works in in Go High Level. So for like emails, if you want to go ahead and see, I want to see, for this test campaign, it will come up. Oop, let me actually go back to the one I tested. It was just me by myself, but at least you can see it, right? So you click on it and then you come here and you get to see, oh, successful delivery, open, right click. So you get to do that. You can also show it in numbers too or in percentages. That's totally up to you as well. Okay. Also for forms, we can do the same thing for forms. That's what I was talking about before. So in forms, you can do like analyze. And if we can show uh, this is how you can look like. You can see how many people submitted. You can have the different due dates, okay, or the different, time frames that you want to see that people are uh, in here, okay? that, and so having the stats is really important because you need to be able to know, right? Like you want to know how many contacts are here. You come to the contacts, right? How many opportunities, if you have that set up, it's good to be able to know the numbers, because with the numbers, that's going to help you and allow you to just kind of know how, and your client to know how are things going. You don't want to go ahead and keep sending emails if no one's looking at them, right? You want to be able to track how big is your list growing? How many contacts do you have? How many people are filling out the form? So being familiar with the reporting section of this is super important as well. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video and you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And I release a new video every week. I also write about being a technical virtual assistant on my blog at marketingtechmama.com/blog. Until next time.